Hello all literature souls. Welcome to my channel. Today I'll be dealing with sonnet number 1 by William Shakespeare. So before I begin explaining the sonnet, I'll teach you how to find out the rhyming scheme of a poem. You're given a poem and how to find out the rhyme scheme of it. So here let's look at sonnet number 1. From Paris creatures we desire increase. So how do we find the rhyming scheme of it? Now see, I'll take up 4 lines initially. First 4 lines. From fairest creatures we desire increase, that thereby beauty's rose might never die, but as a riper should by time disease, his tender air might bear his memory. Now here I have marked A, B, A, B. Some people, those who don't know, will be wondering why I have marked A, B, A, B. So now I'll tell you how it is. Look at the first line. We have the last word as increase. And look at the third line. We have disease. Increase and disease, they rhyme. They rhyme together, right? So we have marked it as AA. The first line as A and the third line as A. Never die and memory. Now here there is a slight problem. Die and memory doesn't rhyme, but we have to consider it that way. So die and memory sort of rhymes. So we have added BB to it. Got it. This is how we find out the rhyme scheme of a poem. Now we'll look at the other 4 lines also. The other 4 lines, here also it ends with eyes. First, second, third, fourth, fifth line. Fifth line ends in eyes and seventh line also ends in lies. Eyes and lies rhymes. So that's why I have marked it as CC. And fuel and cruel, they rhyme too. Fuel and cruel. So that's how they have been marked as DD. So this is how rhyming scheme happens. So AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, GG. This is the rhyme scheme of sonnet. Clear? Sonnet number 1. This is the rhyme scheme. And most of the sonnets follow the same pattern. Shakespearean sonnets actually. Shakespearean sonnets have the rhyme scheme AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, GG. We have Shakespearean sonnets, Spencerian sonnet and all that. I'm talking about Shakespearean sonnet or English sonnet. In English sonnet, AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, GG is the rhyme pattern, rhyme scheme. I hope you understood it. And I think we'll move on to explaining the poem. Okay. Yeah. So the very first thing that I have written over here is the sonnet is written in 3 quatrains and a couplet. Now some people would be wondering what is this 3 quatrain and what is this couplet. 3 quatrains means, see, sonnet is actually in 14 lines. Clear? Sonnet is written in 14 lines. If you count a sonnet, it will be 14 lines. There will be 14 lines in a sonnet. And these 14 lines are divided into four sections. I mean, 3 quatrains, 4 lines will be there. 4 lines will be there. So that's why it is called 3 quatrains. 4 lines each and a couplet. Last, there will be a couplet. Couplet, and it is also called as volta towards the end. Last couplet will be there. Shakespearean sonnet, if you look at, like before I told you about the rhyme scheme. So rhyme scheme also AB, AB, 4 lines. CD, CD, 4 lines. EF, EF, 4 lines. GG is the couplet. So there will be a single couplet and rest 3 quatrains will be there. 3 quatrains and a couplet. That's how we'll get to know whether how many quatrains are there, how many couplets are there in a poem. That's clear, right? The rhyme scheme is AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, GG. So here if you look at it also you can understand. AB, AB, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 lines. CD, CD, again 4 lines. EF, EF, 4 lines. GG, this is a couplet, a single couplet. So here 1, 2, 3, 3 quatrains and a single couplet. I hope you understood it. Otherwise, just go back to the poem and just look at it, then you will know. Okay, so the sonnets 1 to 17 are called procreation sonnets. Now 1 to 17 are called procreation sonnets because our speaker, our poet is urging the fair youth to get married and have children. a poet is asking the fair youth that, I mean, fair youth is so beautiful and all that. So why don't you just go get married and have children? That's why 1 to 17 sonnets are called as procreation sonnets. Okay, the sonnets from 1 to 126 are addressed to a fair youth. 1 to 126 is addressed to a fair youth, and 127 till 154 is to a dark lady. So all in all, we have 1 to 154 sonnets. 154 sonnets all in all. Shakespeare has written 154 sonnets. Keep this in mind. And also you should keep this also in mind that 1 to 126 are addressed to fair youth, and 127 till 154 to a dark lady. 1 to 17 are called procreation sonnets, and in the middle we have 33 to 36 sonnets too. Sonnet number 33 till 36, they are called as estrangement sonnets. There is a separation between the speaker and the fair youth. So that is called estrangement sonnets. So we have estrangement sonnets too in the middle, 33 till 36. Keep all these things in mind. Now, let's move on to first quatrain. First quatrain means 4 lines. Clear? So let's look at first 4 lines initially. In the first quatrain, Shakespeare urges the fair youth to get married and have a progeny of his own, so that his beauty won't perish into oblivion. He says, death may visit you any time, and your beauty may perish into dust. So fair youth, why don't you procreate yourself and increase the population? So here Shakespeare is telling you, see, you're beautiful and all that, so why don't you just get married and have a child of your own? Why are you consumed in your own beauty? Why are you trying to become like a narcissist? Why don't you just go love somebody and get married and procreate? Shakespeare in the poem tells a fair youth that he'll be remembered through his progeny. So Shakespeare is cajoling the fair youth. Why don't you get married and have a child of your own so that you'll be remembered? Have a child, please, please, please have a child. Shakespeare is cajoling the fair youth. Now, it is also said that during this time, Shakespeare's time or Queen Elizabeth's time, England was going through a plague and many other diseases too, and because of which the population was dwindling, depopulation was happening. So this sonnet indirectly points to this particular incident that happened in Shakespearean England, and also Shakespeare is urging the other people also to get married and have progeny in order to increase the population, because population was dwindling a lot, right? Depopulation was happening. So Shakespeare was in a way trying to let other people know that why don't you get married and have children so that you can increase the population. So maybe indirectly Shakespeare is referring to this particular thing too. And not only that, in England during 16th century, a man was considered an adult only after he was married and settled in life. So only after a person is married, then only he'll be considered an adult during the Elizabethan time, 16th century. Before marriage, if you're not married, okay, until then you are in your youth. Here also Shakespeare is referring to fair youth. Youth is there, fair is there. Youth is fair, fair youth. He is not fair adult, he is fair youth. We don't know the age of fair youth. How old is he? We have no idea. He might be 18, he might be 35, or he might be 40. Since he is not married, he is fair youth. So only after you are married, then you will be considered an adult. Until then, you will be considered a youth itself. So remember this too. Now let's move on to second quatrain. Second quatrain, Shakespeare says that the fair youth is consumed by his own beauty. Of course, he's like a narcissist. He's like so happy in his own beauty, and he doesn't even think of procreating. He's just consumed in himself. He's feeding his light's flame to his own substantial self. Shakespeare says the youth is making a famine where abundance lies, because he is consumed in his own beauty and is not ready to procreate. By this, the fair youth has become his own enemy and is being cruel to himself. So yeah, famine and abundance. See, when depopulation happens, it's kind of a famine. When something is available in less quantity, we say that scarcity, right? Scarcity of water, scarcity of food. The same way, the population was dwindling and there was famine. I mean, people were really scared, and people didn't know what to do to increase the population. So through writing the sonnet number 1, Shakespeare is letting people know that get married and have progeny so that you can increase the population. So the same way he's urging the fair youth to get married and have a progeny of his own. So why are you creating a famine there when you can produce abundance? Why create famine? So in a way, he's giving a positive hint, a positive solution to many problems. Yeah, even in the third quatrain, if you look at third quatrain also, the last 4 lines, if you look at them also, you will find that Shakespeare is urging. Shakespeare is actually kind of cajoling and is sort of pampering the fair youth. He's pampering the fair youth so that he gets married. And he says, the fair youth is now the world's fresh ornament, but tomorrow this will fade away. You are like spring now, but everything will be a waste if you do not come of age or become an adult and procreate. The poet says, don't be a selfish, miserly person enthralled in your own beauty and world. So yeah, don't be a selfish person. Come on, become an adult, get married, become an adult, procreate, live happily. Why are you being so selfish? Don't be so selfish. Let's move on to the last couplet. In the last couplet, Shakespeare urges the youth to do not waste time on one's own beauty. Instead, have pity on the world and have a progeny. So, have pity on the world because the world was suffering at that time. Elizabethan England was suffering. Elizabethan England was going through a plague and so many other venereal diseases and so many other diseases too, because of which people were dying every day and they didn't know what to do. There was no hope and everything was lost. They were feeling like that and they didn't know what to do. People were all scared. People were all dumbstruck. What to do? What will happen to us? The population is dwindling. People are dying every day. So what to do now? They didn't have a solution to it. So Shakespeare with sonnet number 1 comes with a solution for that. Go get married and procreate so that it's easy for you. I mean, it's beneficial for you. I mean, Shakespeare is telling it's not for the increase of population. You will also be remembered through your progeny. So it's a good thing. Shakespeare is kind of giving awareness, making people aware of procreation and all that. And of course, one has to become an adult, right? After getting married, one becomes an adult. So some people have issues to go through this phase, adult phase. So Shakespeare says it's okay, have a progeny so that you will be remembered through him. So it's not that bad a situation to get married or become an adult. So this is how Shakespeare is cajoling the youth or giving a solution to the people. Shakespeare says, don't just wait for the grave to eat away your youth. So just don't wait for the grave to eat away your youth. You know, when I read this line, don't just wait for the grave to eat away your youth. Suddenly, the poem by, suddenly there is a poem, right? To his choir mistress. Actually, that poem comes to my mind all the time. So, because there he talks about worms eating away the virginity of the woman. So that actually hits my mind all the time. So Shakespeare is actually telling the youth to procreate, have children, and it also indicates the time period that England was going through, plague and so many other diseases, and population was coming down. So in a way, Shakespeare was giving a solution for that to procreate so that it increase the population. Yeah. So that's it. The sonnet throws light on the fact that Queen Elizabeth herself was childless, and this created a problem about who would be the next successor to the throne. Dara, reflecting on this, produced the metaphor of book as child. Like Spencer referred to the shepherd's calendar as his child, Sidney too calls himself the father of Arcadia, his child. This depicted male childbirth. Male childbirth can be traced in the works of Samuel Daniel, Spencer, Henry Constable. If one observes the Elizabethan age, one could see that there is a drastic shift towards a male procreation and male literary creation. So through the sonnet, Shakespeare is either urging the male fair youth to procreate a child or create a literary piece of work so that he won't be forgotten into oblivion. So here, it is not just about procreating, asking a male to procreate. But again, when you think, when you have a deep thought about it, when you give a deep thinking about it, thinking on that particular topic, you'll know that obviously father and mother, see, it's not just the father who procreates. Both father and mother come together in the procreation of a child. So now you'll be wondering why Shakespeare is asking the male youth, why there is only male youth and why there is no female out there. Asking the male youth to procreate, and what about the female? Right, so in a way Shakespeare may be asking the fair youth to, if you cannot procreate by producing a progeny, then why don't you write a book for yourself so that you'll be remembered? Because during Elizabethan times, the particular work was called as a child of the author. Like Spencer, he called the Shepherd's Calendar as his child, and Sidney also called Arcadia as his child. So the work that was produced by an author was called the child of the author. Male childbirth was given prominence there. In the sense, male childbirth was given prominence because not male producing a progeny, instead male producing something, a literary piece. So male childbirth can be traced in the work, even male childbirth can be traced in the works of Samuel Daniel Spencer, Henry Constable. That was given more importance, male childbirth. So this is what this is what Shakespeare is trying to showcase through the poem Sonnet number 1. From fairest creatures we desire increase. Shakespeare has not only thrown light on the normal casual procreation, having a progeny and all that. Instead, Shakespeare has thrown light on incident, the depopulation incident, and also on the light of male literary production, male procreation and male literary creation. He has thrown light on the facts, male procreation and male literary creation too. So this is what all in all Shakespeare talks about in sonnet number 1. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for listening to my audio. If you liked it, just please do like it. If you have any comments, do comment. And if you feel like subscribing, do subscribe. Only if you feel like, otherwise you don't have to do it. Bye.